Prayer connects us to God, and sometimes we seek the help of those who have walked closely with Him. The saints are our spiritual companions, interceding for us in heaven. Through their prayers, we find strength, peace, healing, and hope. This collection offers heartfelt prayers for life's many needs. May they bring comfort to your soul and draw you closer to God. Saint Michael the Archangel, protection against evil. He is the great defender in spiritual warfare, the leader of God's army against darkness. Saint Michael the Archangel, mighty protector of God's people, defend me from all evil, seen and unseen. Be my shield in times of fear, my strength when I feel weak, and my courage when I stand for what is right. Drive away the darkness and guide me in the light of God's truth. Amen. Saint Joseph, families, work, and fatherhood. The humble, faithful husband of Mary and earthly father of Jesus, he is a model of quiet strength and devotion. Saint Joseph, guardian of the Holy Family, I place my loved ones under your care. Teach me to live with humility and integrity, to work with purpose and love. Be a strong presence in our home, guiding us in patience, faith, and peace. Help me to trust God's plan, even in silence. Amen. Saint Jude, desperate and impossible causes. Known as the patron saint of lost causes, he intercedes when situations feel hopeless. Saint Jude, faithful servant and friend of Jesus, I turn to you in my distress, when hope fades and the path ahead is unclear. Pray for me. Bring light to my darkness and strength to my heart. Intercede for me in this impossible situation, and help me never to lose trust in God's power. Amen. Saint Anthony of Padua, lost things and spiritual clarity. A powerful preacher and miracle worker, he helps recover both lost items and lost faith. Saint Anthony, gentle and wise, you are known for bringing the lost back to God. Help me to recover what I have misplaced, both in this world and in my soul. When I feel far from God, lead me home. Open my heart to see clearly and follow the Lord more faithfully. Amen. Saint Raphael the Archangel, healing and safe travels. One of the archangels sent by God to heal and guide, especially in journeys. Saint Raphael, divine healer and companion, bring your light into my life. Guide me through the unknown and bring healing where there is pain, body, mind, and spirit. Walk beside me on every path I take and keep me safe in all my travels. Remind me that God walks with me always. Amen. Saint Peregrine, patron of cancer patients and the seriously ill. A saint who suffered from cancer himself and was miraculously healed through prayer. Saint Peregrine, faithful servant of Christ in your suffering, I ask for your prayers for those facing serious illness. Lay their pain before Jesus, the divine healer. Strengthen their hearts, restore their health if it is God's will, and help them find peace in His presence. May they never feel alone in their struggle. Amen. Saint Luke the Evangelist, patron of physicians and healers. Author of the Gospel of Luke and a physician, he is the patron of all who heal. Saint Luke, bearer of the good news and healer of the sick, bless all those who care for the ill. Give them compassion, wisdom, and strength. Inspire doctors, nurses, and caregivers to see the face of Christ in every patient. Help me, too, to be a source of healing love in the lives of those around me. Amen. Saint Nicholas, protector of children. Known for his generosity and kindness, especially toward children and the poor. Saint Nicholas, kind and loving shepherd of God's little ones, watch over the children of the world, protect them from harm, provide for their needs, and fill their hearts with joy and wonder. Help me to care for my child Ren with tenderness, patience, and trust in God. Amen. Saint Monica, patron of mothers and those praying for loved ones. A model of persistence in prayer, especially for her son, Saint Augustine. Saint Monica, mother of unshakable faith, you wept and prayed for your son's return to God. Teach me to pray with perseverance and love for my own loved ones. Strengthen my heart when I grow tired, and help me to trust that no soul is beyond God's reach. May your hope become mine. Amen. St. Anne, patron of mothers and grandmothers. The mother of Mary and grandmother of Jesus, a symbol of wisdom and maternal care. Saint Anne, holy mother and gentle grandmother, I turn to you in my calling as a parent. Pray that I may guide my family with grace, nurture with love, and teach with patience. Be with all mothers and grandmothers as we raise our children to love God and others. Amen. Saint Thomas Aquinas, patron of students and truth seekers. One of the greatest thinkers in church history, a lover of truth and wisdom. Saint Thomas Aquinas, guide of minds and hearts, help me in my studies and in the search for truth. May I never seek knowledge for pride or power, but always for the glory of God. Inspire my mind, strengthen my memory, and keep me humble in learning. Amen. Saint Homobonus, patron of business people and integrity in work. A generous merchant known for his honesty and devotion to the poor. Saint Homobonus, faithful in your trade and generous in your heart, teach me to conduct my work with fairness and compassion. Help me to honor God in every decision and never let greed cloud my integrity. May my work be a blessing to others and a reflection of my faith. Amen. Saint Dymphna, mental health and anxiety. A young saint who fled violence and became a symbol of healing for mental illness and emotional suffering. Saint Dymphna, gentle soul and comforter of the troubled, pray for those who are burdened with anxiety, depression, or inner turmoil. Be near to all who suffer in silence. Intercede for peace in my heart and healing in my mind. May God's light reach every dark corner. Amen. Saint Teresa of Avila, peace of mind and deep prayer. A mystic and reformer, known for her deep union with God and interior peace. Saint Teresa, lover of the silence where God speaks, help me to find calm in the chaos. Teach me to seek God within and to rest in His presence. When my mind is anxious or scattered, lead me back to the stillness of His love. May I learn to trust that God is enough. Amen. Saint Augustine of Hippo, once lost in worldly life, Saint Augustine found deep faith through the prayers of his mother and his encounter with God's truth. Saint Augustine, you searched for truth and found it in God. Pray that I may grow strong in faith, especially when doubts arise. Lead me to trust in God's wisdom above all. Amen. Saint Jude Thaddeus, patron saint of desperate and hopeless cases, known for bringing hope in darkness. Saint Jude, helper of the hopeless, lift my heart when I feel lost. Fill me with the light of hope and remind me that nothing is impossible with God. Amen. Saint Thérèse of Lisieux, known for her little way of love in small acts, she lived a life of simple yet profound charity. Saint Thérèse, teach me to love with a generous and humble heart. Help me to show kindness even in small things and bring Christ's love to those around me. Amen. Saint Cayetan, patron of job seekers and good fortune, especially during hard times. Saint Cayetan, intercede for me in my needs and help me to find favor in my efforts. May God bless me with the grace to succeed and use my blessings wisely. Amen. Saint Camillus de Lellis, founder of a religious order dedicated to caring for the sick with dignity and love. Saint Camillus, you comforted the sick with compassion. Pray for those suffering now, especially may they feel God's healing presence through your intercession. Amen. Saint Christopher, known as the protector of travelers who carried Christ safely across a river. Saint Christopher, watch over me on my journey, keep me safe from harm, and help me arrive in peace and joy. Travel with me and guide my steps. Amen.